Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Weekly Awakening Podcast. It is your host, Cosmic Colleen, back with another weekly alert. This is going to be a really good week. I'm talking a high vibe week. I got excited this morning when I was doing my notes about this week. Just going to put that out there because I know we've had some rough weeks. It's been a little tough since Mars entered retrograde, and this is a full Jupiter loving week. That's what I'm just going to say. Let's get this party started. Okay, so this week, today, it's Sunday. I'm recording it tonight. I wanted to record it this morning, but I'm recording it tonight. We had the Sun trine Jupiter. I don't know about you, but I woke up and my spirit was so light and bright. Then we got Venus and Mercury conjunct in Sagittarius. We got Jupiter, Sagittarius' ruler, stationing direct in Pisces. And then we also have the new moon in Sagittarius this week. And there's pretty much not any hard transits. So this is a good high vibe week. And I mean like especially high vibe. I'm going to talk a lot about it, but there's a lot with wisdom, spirituality, and things coming to full circle in that area with Jupiter stationing direct and finishing out its last time in Pisces for the next 12 years. So again, we're seeing those seeds of growth that we planted that came through the wisdom while Jupiter was in Pisces. I'm talking that hard, deep, watery wisdom. We're now feeling good. Okay. So that's really the gist. That's really going to be the gist of this week. I'm going to remind everyone to follow me on social media, Cosmic Colleen 1C. Now, when I get when I say that, one of my clients pointed out, I mean 1C in the middle. There's obviously a C at the beginning, C at the end, but when it comes to Cosmic Colleen, in between the Cosmic Colleen, that's 1C. Just an FYI. My client was like, wait, what do you mean? You only have 1C, but there should be 4. So just to clarify that. Definitely want to follow me on TikTok out of all of those. I sit down, like this morning, I sat with my notes. I meditated. I actually did the Ganesh Om meditation 108 times with my mala beads, which I've never really done. I do that meditation a lot, but I did 108 times, and I'm going to talk about that as Mercury entered Sagittarius, and we are really expanding our minds again and getting some spiritual discipline. Okay, so let's talk about this week. I want to talk about this weekend a little bit more. This past week, we had Mercury and Venus move into Sagittarius. And with Mercury moving into Sagittarius, again, with me having so much Mercury, my mind will shift and my mind focus, my communication will kind of shift depending on where Mercury is. And right away, I was just like jumping into my spiritual discipline again. And that's what this week is going to be a lot about, creating an aesthetic for spirituality and getting our soul right again. That's what this week is going to be about. And I woke up this morning, like I said, and I had nobody around me, no kids, no one. And I sat with my coffee. I did an hour of yoga, working out, and then I did some dance rhythm music, actually to Parun Guy. If you remember my episode last week, I'm obsessed with him. I still haven't stopped listening. And then I did the Ganesh mantra. And then I was like, this morning, then I sat for about another hour and came up for the notes this week. And I was just vibing high. I'm telling you, just from lifting my spirit up, I was just feeling so good and feeling so bright. And that is a reminder. It can seem so hard to get, once we get out of our spiritual discipline, to get back in. But when we get in, it's really not that hard. We got to get back into the habit, and it feels so good. And I've been riding high on that feeling all day. I'm not going to lie. Obviously, the planets happening in today's Sun trine Jupiter helped that. I also want to share with you guys, I got a love tuner. I know. It is, I don't know how this will sound because my AC, even though my heat, even though I turned it off, is still going off in the background. But this is vibing at 528 hertz, which is the frequency of love. Hopefully that wasn't too annoying for anyone, but hopefully that brought you love. I'm loving this thing. I have been using it just for myself and calming. I used it for my kids. Abram seems to be kind of like, entranced in it. Maybe it's the Libra moon there. And then it was sort of funny because they're wrestling and I was blowing on this. I'm like, this is the love whistle. This is the love whistle. Stop fighting. And it didn't really work. But I'm excited about using this and getting more into sound meditation. That's just jump right into this because this is Mercury in Sagittarius, but it's also going to be really tied into this week with Venus and Mercury conjunct in Sagittarius. We're starting the week off with that. And then, everything that's happening with the new moon is we need to get back into the aesthetic of our spirit. What is feeling right? What is calling to us and what is missing? What I mean, for me, something that is missing is movement. Movement and energy in my body has been calling for that. Yoga, as well as sound meditation. I already love the binaural beats. I always love guided meditations. That always rings true to me. But now, just for example, with this love tuner, it's called... I got to see where the box is, who I actually got this from and made this from, so I can tell you guys properly who that is. So we have the aesthetic of the spirit. We know that real beauty comes from the inside and shines through. It's the energy that shines through. Think about this. Have you ever seen someone from afar or even up close and you were like, they are so pretty, they're so hot, they're so beautiful. And then they opened up their mouth or you got to know them a little bit and they had such ugly energy or something was not good that all of a sudden that beauty faded. Or vice versa, maybe someone who at first, you weren't totally attracted to or didn't find too beautiful, then you got to know their energy and they became 10 times more beautiful. That is because true beauty shines through. The energy shines through. So we have to now kind of go through the washer machine this week, And I mean, in one way, we're going to see where we did so much growing. And then on the other way, now we're going to see, okay, now we did the growing, now we did the processing, now we did the healing. What are we going to do to maintain the lightness of this soul, of the spirit? And that is going to come between by spiritual discipline. Aesthetic of the spirit with Venus, Mercury. Venus, we look at the aesthetic, Mercury, the communication, the mind, and coming together in Sagittarius, we are working the aesthetic of the mind, body, spirit. So we can do these positive changes and keep our spirit light through certain, things that are only going to take 5-10 minutes a day. For instance, when I, like I said, I do the Om mantra, the Ganesh mantra often, which is good for moving blocks, but I never did it 108 times. And so I put it on. It's like, I think it ends up being like a little over 15 minutes in some seconds or 14 seconds. And I sat there and each time I just focused on a white light pushing out for me through and just journeying on a road, like with my life, through my life. So we can take these simple steps to keep us light and free with prayer, meditation, sound healing, breath work, saunas. I love saunas. I love heating. I had to throw that one in there. Rhythm dancing, mantras, what feels good. And you just have to discipline yourself. If you can sit on your phone, if you can argue on Facebook, if you can post memes, if you can do that stuff, you can do these simple things that will make your spirit continue to feel good because you have done a lot of processing with Jupiter and Pisces and is now a time to maintain that. And I think with this too, it's going to be letting go peacefully, holding strong within that, within who you are now, because you let something go lighter. You let something go and now you feel lighter and you're going to be able to shine in that. So all those things I said, prayer, meditation, sound healing, breath work, all of those things, they raise your energy. They raise your vibration, which will naturally raise your beauty because that will shine through. It raises your energy. So we are cleaning. We are cleansing. Now, another thing this week that we're cleaning, cleansing, and we've done a lot of processing when we had Jupiter, and Jupiter brings us wisdom and wisdom of luck, wisdom of the good things, right? It almost brings us the rewards that come from that higher learning wisdom. Saturn brings us the rewards from the karma that we worked through, the hard lessons, and Jupiter just brings us those blessings. Sometimes we have to work for it, but oftentimes it wants us to do the right thing and it will show up with the right thing, if that makes sense. So when Jupiter was in Pisces, we were gaining our wisdom through some deep, darker emotions. You know, when you're riding the wave, you're feeling the pain. You're feeling the pain of the wave, but you know soon you're going to make it out. Or maybe I should make a better analogy. You crash, and then all of a sudden you're stuck in the wave and you're moving and you're swerving. But you know from your wisdom from learning how to surf, like how to survive this wave. And then all of a sudden you pop out of the other side and you feel reborn. We're going to be feeling look at that as Jupiter in Pisces. That's what this is going to feel like. While Jupiter's been in Pisces, we've been really stuck under some waters, sometimes in a big way, sometimes feeling like we can't get back up, and then other times feeling like we're riding high. Energy has been processed. Sometimes we can feel the energy, but oftentimes downloads energy, things are processing that our mind, that our eyes, that our physical body can't really understand. And then afterwards, all we know is, like I said today, woke up feeling lighter. We wake up feeling lighter. We wake up feeling freer. It just feels like our energy is softer. So this week, with the new moon in Sagittarius, it's going to be, I feel like, instead of writing out, right, a normal manifestation, I feel like this is either going to be, you're just going to be living it. You're going to be living those Jupiter manifestations that have been happening since Jupiter's in Pisces. Now that it's moving direct with the new moon, you're going to be really living that. Or you're going to be like being able to jump into the emotions of what it feels like. And I would say, and also taking action. So instead of writing, we're either living, feeling, or taking action towards these new goals. And these new goals, like I said, need to be about the aesthetic of our spirit or soul, or should be in that way. So this is going to be a big soul journey completion week. While Jupiter, like I said, was in Pisces, we were gaining that infinite knowledge. We gained that infinite knowledge from our higher realms, from our spirit guides. Well, that's where we get our knowledge from with Jupiter. And so it was in the darkness of our shadows. So our spirit guides were trying to say, hey, we need to remove this. We need to heal this. We need to process this. We need to see this. We need to cry about this. And then we're going to swim to the other side. And we really did process some deep stuff, a lot of us. So again, the reward this week is automatically going to be feeling lighter, feeling more peace. Maybe something that happens that you normally have a big reaction to or react in a way that you don't like, all of a sudden, you're not reacting anymore. The growth and the healing, you're going to get even extra rewards, especially if you took it into your own hands to finally shine, to finally do the healing, doing the hard work that you need to do. And again, with this transit, I feel like with Jupiter in Pisces, the end of the zodiac, there's a lot of ancestral and family wounds and energy that were cleared out. Like, we really cleared out some family DNA, and we're going to be feeling that. Okay, so we're coming back to our core self. We're learning how to cleanse our core self. And again, instead of planting these manifestations this week, we are going to be living them. And we're going to be letting go peacefully. Take a deep breath. Now, with this new moon in Sagittarius, we are going to be moving forward with growth. We're going to want to look where Sagittarius is in our house, and there's going to be a new beginning, a new growth coming. Or we're really actually going to be seeing that growth, especially when Jupiter moves direct and it finishes out. We're going to see the growth of this growing until Jupiter moves out into Aries, which I think happens at the beginning of January. We're seeing that growth come to fruition. Also, we had some revisions, and when Jupiter was in retrograde, we also had some reverse growth. Reverse growth, that doesn't sound good. Reverse growth is growth happening somewhere we don't like. Jupiter brings the good things. Jupiter is a benefic planet, And it brings happiness, joy often, but sometimes if it is ill-placed, it can make things grow in a negative way. So we might have, some of us had some reverse growth happening in our lives. And now that when it moves direct, we should see it growing in the opposite again, in the positive again. The way we want it to grow, we should start seeing that now. One of the other themes with this is going to be one last right turn, if that makes sense. The last house on the left, only not about scaring or murder. It's the last house on the left, and it's all your spirit guides there, ready to take you in and show you the beautiful way of life. You may have been lost, and then you're going to take that next right turn, and that is the path you're on. So this week is going to be a lot about finally aligning with the path and feeling ready. Feeling ready to launch, feeling ready, feeling full circle, feeling lots of understanding, love, and happiness, honestly. And then we also get to see that we're finally on, like I said, we're on the path that we needed to be on. We got a little sidetracked. We went a little curvy. But here's the thing. I know sometimes it sucks being in the limbo, not sure, but that's actually where the process happens. That's where we process things, where we heal things, where we understand things, where we grow, where we're learning to align with that goal, okay? And sometimes it doesn't happen on our timeline, and we have to be okay with that because the universe has a timeline, and it is exactly when it should be. That is what I know. Everything happens exactly when it should, always. I know I say that on this episode a lot, but always. And a hope shot, and also something is coming to a close in a very positive way. It's coming to a close. You're getting the answer you wanted. The lawsuit's on your side. The boss is giving you the raise. Again, things are coming to a close. If it was a little bit of conflict, especially in the summertime, spring, I think when Jupiter moved into Aries a little bit, if there was some conflict there, it is now coming to a positive close. Again, this is going to be, I feel like this is one of the most positive weeks we have had in a while. Like just solid, positive, good things happening, big Jupiter blessings moving in. And I'm excited. I think this is a good way to finish out and start a brand new cycle. Now we're beginning the new cycle in 2023 of Jupiter starting the zodiac again, calendar in Aries. But it's starting fresh, ready to take charge, but with that last little bit of wisdom that it's been gaining. Whew. Again, this is going to be a very good week. I'm loving Mercury and Sagittarius. I got to tell you something, too. Mars, I think I said last week, is still doing this little dance with my Mercury. And I think last week I shared about how I had a little bit of an attitude. And I called, I think it was Domino's last Sunday, because I'm not a Domino's fan, but my kids are. They love it. The Papa John's. I'm like, I need the real Italian pizza, but whatever. And it was an hour. And I called them, it was not delivered. It wasn't here yet. And the guy was like, oh, yeah, we're just getting it now, getting it made, not even delivered. And, of course, I gave a little bit attitude, Mars retrograde, and I hung up the phone. And Abram was like, Mom, it wasn't his fault. He was short-staffed, and they trying their best. So I don't think it's very nice that you were rude to him. I was like, you know what? You're right. You're absolutely right. Thank you for checking me. But that kid, my older son, he checks me all the time. It is so funny. With if I'm not following a rule or do something, he really puts me in my place. He lets me know what is up. So this week, too, remember, we're going to want to feel free. We're going to want to feel free thinking. We're going to want to maybe feel free in love. This is what's happening with everything in Sagittarius. We're going to want to expand our minds, be open. And that's the great thing. A lot of us are going to be open-minded this week, and we're also going to experience open-mindedness in others this week. So I am loving that. I'm ready. Again, thank you, everyone who continues to share my podcast. The best way you can support the podcast right now is to send this to a friend, rate, review it, subscribe, and just keep, you guys post on social media. All that stuff really helps me, and I love it. Thank you. That really helps me. Even just commenting on my videos, my posts, all that stuff gets this podcast out there, and I'm grateful for those of you who continue to do it every week. I really love that. And I love you guys. It's going to be a good week. And it's Thanksgiving. Duh. I hope everyone has a wonderful time celebrating Thanksgiving, however you celebrate it. I like to just focus on Thanksgiving as a day of gratitude. What I'm grateful for, I'm grateful, and I remind myself every day on Thanksgiving, what I'm grateful for. And I try to at least say to the people I'm with something I'm grateful for about them. I just try to live and embrace the gratitude. So definitely do that this week with this manifestations, with this new moon, is just live in gratitude, seek in gratitude. And if you find yourself moody, switch your mindset and remember, if you have health, if you have food on the table, if you have your bills are paid, you have more than half the world. So it's all about a perspective shift, everyone. All right. I love you guys. Have a wonderful week with family. Anyone that's traveling, please be safe. And I love you all. Thank you. Goodbye.